Hey everybody, it's Metagross Freak here, and time for another top 10 list. Today I'm doing the top 10 female Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, before you guys talk to me and say that, I'm just some, person trying to sexualize women in a trading card game, I'm actually in favor of women's rights, and I'm very respectful to women. And although I do make jokes, please remember that this is going to be based on the complete package, not just based on beauty. You'll see that more later on. Now, there are a couple of rules. The character has to be obviously female. They can't be neutral. For example, Jane, the Lightsworn Paladin. Here, with a name like Jane, you can't be sure whether Jane is a male or female, but he has kind of a feminine face, but it also kind of looks a little masculine, so it's kind of confusing, a little ambiguous on what gender he is. The character actually has to look somewhat good. They can't be they can't be ugly like Serpentine Princess, who is of course not designed to look even beautiful. She's just designed to look like some weird snake lady. Number 3, I actually have to own the card. For example, I have a picture of here with me and Rose Fairy, one of the cards in this top 10 list. And lastly, it has to be a good card. I gave below. I have the example of Druid, a non-effect card with 1200 attack and 1400 defense, and level 4. Which, let's face it, any person playing Yu-Gi-Oh would know that a level 4 monster with stats like that and no effect would suck. So, female. Can't be ugly. I have to own the card, and it has to be a good card. So without further ado, let's begin with number 10. GISHKI EMILIA. Now obviously, GISHKI EMILIA, it looks nice. She has a decent attack of 1600, and she's a downside though. Her defense isn't very great, and she's a spirit monster, meaning at the end of the turn she goes back to the hand. However, when she's normal summoned or flipped face up, she negates all the trap card effects on the field until the end of the phase. However, you have to have another GISHKI monster to activate this effect. She goes great with any GISHKI deck, and there are many GISHKI monsters and they're really powerful that go great with her. Most water decks I'm seeing are now are using GISHKI monsters, so she goes great in pretty much any deck that involves water. Next is Yubel. Yubel was a controversial card coming to the States because Yubel was apparently kind of like a transgender, like a female personality in a male body. I've included the Japanese artwork on the right, and I really don't see any reason why they censored it. However, they did change the mid-torso and upper torso to be kind of like a grayish brown to prevent people from thinking that she was, being just kind of, dirty, skanky. I don't really see the issue though. Most people think Yubel sucks from the get-go because she's a level 10 monster with 0 attack and 0 defense, but she can't be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from her, meaning she's a great shield. And before damage calculation, when this face-up attack position card is attacked by an opponent's monster, you inflict damage equal to the attacking monster's attack. During the end phase, you have to tribute one monster or destroy her. And when this card is destroyed, except by its own effect, you can special summon Yubel Terror Incarnate from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So not only is Yubel an amazing card, but she summons Yubel Terror Incarnate, which is an even better card. However, Terror Incarnate looks more like a dragon, so I just included Yubel and not the other 2 evolutions, though all 3 Yubels are great to have in any deck. Number 8, Rose Fairy. You saw this in my picture. Now, before you guys saying, well, Rose Fairy isn't even really human. She may be a plant, but she's the only plant in this deck. In this top 10 list, all the rest are either fairies, spellcasters, warriors, or like stuff like or psychics. Rose Fairy Although Rose Fairy is, has that nice, cute fairy look. Kind of reminds me of Na'vi from the Legend of Zelda series. Her stats aren't that great. However, if she's added to the deck from to your hand by the effect of a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can special summon her. Meaning, if you've already summoned that turn, and you use a card like, I don't know, Jar of Greed or like Reload, and you pull Rose Fairy from the deck, you can automatically special summon her. And with a level of 3, she can easily be used for any synchro, any ritual summon, or any rank 3 Xyz monster. I have 3 copies, and I actually ran 3 copies in an Xyz deck for a while. I just really like this card. I actually used to have 4 copies, and I gave the 4th copy to one of my girlfriends. So it reminds me of her. Number 7, Esper Girl. Now, before you guys go saying that I'm some kind of weird pervert, Esper Girl I put on here not because I think she's attractive, but because she looks a lot like one of my nieces, and because I think the card's pretty cool. Her stats aren't that great, but she's a level 2 tuner, so you can open up a lot of interesting possibilities there. And when this removing, also a lot of psychics have abilities that remove things from play, and when she's removed from play and then special summoned from removed from play, you can remove from play the top card of your deck face down, and when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add that removed card to your hand. Considering her low stats, she'll probably die in battle, so you can make her leave that way, or you can tribute her for synchro summon or a normal summon or whatever. This card is not meant to be on the field very long, so if you're able to use her effect, you basically get a free card that can pretty much be any card, but it's basically like an extra free draw. Number 6, Amazoness Paladin. Amazoness Paladin, I will admit, is kind of here for her looks. She has a great looking physique, and her attack of 1700 isn't bad either. If you look at her effect, she gains 100 attack for each Amazoness monster you control, making her great to use in any Amazoness deck. Should you have 3 of them out, all 3 Amazoness Paladins would have 1900 attack. However, you don't even need the effect to make her great. I used to use her in a synchro deck for a while that had no other Amazonesses. I just had her in there because she was good looking and because she had a great attack. I do think this is a little funny. On the right, you'll see above the Japanese artwork and below the English artwork in the anime for Amazoness Paladin, and you'll see in the English anime they actually added some kind of weird grayish tan veil over her cleavage and over her stomach. Oh, and over her thighs and backside, to make it look like she was less scantily clad. However, the English card artwork on the left, which came out around the same time as the card, still has her in the Japanese outfit. Not only that, but if you see on the right of both anime pictures, Tanya, I think it's Tanya, the duelist using Amazoness Paladin, both of which she doesn't have her ridiculous cleavage covered up. So I just think it's funny that Amazoness Paladin did. Yeah, so moving on. Number 5, Magician's Valkyria. Magician's Valkyria, you could argue, is the younger sister, or even the teenage version of Dark Magician Girl. With that said, she has decent attack at 1600, decent defense at 1800. Being level 4, she's free to summon, which makes her stats even better, and her effect is your opponent cannot select another spellcaster type monster you control as an attack target, meaning it's similar to Marauding Captain. If your opponent wants to attack any other spellcaster, they have to go through her first. It's interesting that she's a Valkyria, that her name's Valkyria, and that she has wings in her picture, because in Norse mythology, the Valkyrie would decide who it would be who would die in battle. And similar to her effect, she, I guess, being the Valkyrie, has decided that spellcasters will not be the ones dying this day. She has a scepter similar to Dark Paladin, which is one of my favorite looking cards. So that and the fact that I really should have put her as number 4, but once you see number four, you'll understand why. So for number 5, here we go, Magician's Valkyria. Number 4, GaGaGa Girl, the newest member to the female magician family. GaGaGa Girl has, again, not amazing stats, and she's level 3, but you can target a face-up GaGaGa magician you control, and her effect becomes the effect. Her level becomes the level of your GaGaGa magician, which, if you recall, GaGaGa magician can make his level any level between 1 and 8. Meaning, if you have a GaGaGa magician out and you summon GaGaGa Girl, you have an instant Xyz summon of any level, assuming you only need 2 monsters. Also, if you use GaGaGa Girl and any other monster with GaGaGa in its name, the Xyz summoned monster gains the following effect. When it's Xyz summoned, you can target a special summoned monster your opponent controls, and that monster's attack becomes 0 permanently. Similar to Amazoness Paladin, I think this card has kind of silly censorship. They reduced her bust. They gave her sleeves and leggings, and they increased the length of her skirt to make her look less revealing. I think this is silly, however, because, to be honest, looking at the artwork on the right, I really don't see anything wrong. I just see a fashionably dressed magician with her cell phone about to pull out some magic. I do think it's hilarious, though, that they leave all the, archaic magical mandalas in the background, considering that Konami is really good at taking out, religious-y symbols. Half of the archfiends and fiend-related cards actually have horns removed to have different horns and symbols removed to make them look less demonic. And as you'll see with our number 3, they don't really like having starry symbols, so I think it's funny that they kept them for GaGaGa Girl. But she's a very good effect card, and she looks kind of cute. She looks like she also looks kind of like the little sister of Dark Magician Girl. With that said, number 3, Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl needs 1 tribute, 2,000 attack, 1,700 defense, and she gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. Dark Magician Girl is one of my favorite cards, which is why she is, of course, number 3 on this list. The only reason Dark Magician Girl isn't number 2 is because of the controversy surrounding her. Need some proof? Here you go. On the top row, I have all of the English artworks for Dark Magician Girl, and on the bottom row, I have all the Japanese artworks. As you can see, in all of the Japanese artworks, Dark Magician Girl's pendant has a pentagram, and she has, cleavage. However, the English artworks erase the cleavage and change the pentagram into some kind of just basic ruby. I think this is kind of hilarious because it's okay for other cards to have cleavage. It's okay for some cards to have cleavage, Amazoness Paladin, but for some reason, Dark Magician Girl, it's cliche or just dirty, I guess. I don't really get what the deal with that is. I think Dark Magician Girl is a great card, and I really don't like that they decided that she should be censored just because. I don't know, you can offer reasons, and most of you will probably say that Dark Magician Girl should be number 1. However, I disagree in this one instance. So, remember that the number 1 is my opinion, and it's okay if my opinion doesn't match up with yours. So, without further ado, number 1... Oh, no, sorry, number 2. Sorry. Guardian Eatos. Sorry, forgot I was on number 3 there. Guardian Eatos. I used to have the artwork as my wallpaper on my computer for a while. Although it may look like I'm fully white, I actually am part Native American. I love the Native American folklore. For some reason, the card decides not to have her sword, which she should really be holding in her left hand rather than just being out. Guardian Eatos only requires 2 tributes for a 2,500 attack and 2,000 defense, which although isn't, which is about average. However, if you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon her for free. You can send an equip spell equipped to her to the graveyard to target up to 3 monsters in the opponent's graveyard and banish them. And for every monster banished by her effect, she gains 500 attack until the end phase. Should you have a full row of 5 equip cards, you could theoretically destroy all 5 to instantly give her a grand if you had 5 cards equipped and you destroyed all 5 to remove 15 monsters from the graveyard, you would practically quadruple her attack. Although you can't see much of her face, I just like the look of Guardian Eatos. To be honest, I probably would trust her to protect me, which makes sense because she's a guardian. But she's not the best of the best, and with that, we must herald in our number 1. Again, you probably will disagree with me, but that's okay. We are all open to our own opinion. And without further ado, number 1, Winda, Priestess of GuSTo. Although she's not very high on attack or defense, Winda, the Priestess of GuSTo, has a great effect. When she's destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a GuSTo tuner from your deck. GuSTo is all about synchro summoning, so that effect is great. And she's a level 2, meaning based on the tuner monsters available in GuSTo, is if you have her and a GuSTo tuner, you can pretty much summon anything that is GuSTo related. She is the best looking of the females in the GuSTo series, and GuSTo is one of my favorite archetypes. I am also a fan of the Black Wings and the Ancient Gears. However, those didn't offer any feminine fruit. So this is the cherry on top of our wonderful YuGiOh female sundae. That sounds really dirty, I'm sorry. But yeah, here's our winner. Winda, Priestess of GuSTo, the lover of nature, the the summoner of synchros, and she also has a bunny in her pocket. And to be honest, I just really like the way she looks. I know this isn't supposed to be based on looks, but she's just adorable. She has a pet bird, a bunny in her pocket, and she's magical. What could be better? So, thank you for watching. This has been my top 10 female YuGiOh cards. And just remember that when you're playing YuGiOh, it can't hurt to put a girl in the deck. So until next time, I'm Metagross Freak, and thank you for watching.